Now, in that movie, The Knowing, also, it's been pointed out to me that there's an Earth time clock of our destruction. And it suggests that in the film, when the clock turns midnight, Earth destruction, basically, I don't necessarily think it's our destruction yet, because the movie still continues on from there, but it goes to midnight, and then it says the word Japan. So we've got the oil field in BC, or BP oil, that's causing massive amounts of death. A lot of people are profiting off that death. Money is the root of all evil. And then we have Japan, who had an earthquake, then a tsunami. Nuclear plants are blowing up like crazy. Volcano, snowstorm. They seem to be bombarded by everything that can possibly go wrong is going wrong in that country, and yet that film at midnight said Japan. And also was given another video by this other girl that was saying that evil cannot be evil unless you choose to be evil. So it has to tell you the truth. It has to show you what they're planning to do, because you are the player in the game of your own destruction. You have to have the free will yourself to destroy yourself, because nobody can do it to you. You have to actually do it to yourself. So that's why they put all of these messages out there, because you have to see it for yourself and decide not to play in that game. Anybody that has money right now, trust, you touch that money, you're touching evil. You know, the will, the want, the drive to get any money, you have the free will to destroy yourself. Meanwhile, the money is going to, our education systems, our manipulation of your whole experience has been, you aren't somebody unless you have a big bank account. That's what my father that's depressed, is trying to teach me how to be a happy person. And his concept of being a happy person is, I need to work really hard and get a lot of money and have a big bank account. That's how I'll be happy. Meanwhile, he worked really hard, has a big bank account, and has to take happy pills, and he's miserable. He hates his life. As a child, I always questioned that. How can you teach me about happiness if you're not happy yourself? So that has been what has been going on, is our lineage. Our fathers before us wrote their books on what happiness was all about, wrote their books on what love is, wrote their books on how to be successful in life, and then created school systems so you could go and learn their books, their ways of life. So you go into your colleges, you go into your universities, and you learn how to be happy with money. And money is the root of all evil. So we've been definitely programmed to do the wrong thing. If you lose all of your money, where will you be? Just give up your money. Will you be happy? That is the real test. If you are really, really a smart person, if you are really, really a happy person, at your core, at your full, honest, full potential, are you happy? Do you feel like a winner if you gave up every single dime you had? Wayne Dyer has sold millions and millions of books. The man must be, a billionaire or a millionaire. I haven't checked his figures out. But he's writing books on live the simple life. And now he's got cancer. The man has literally said, every time your brain goes down a negative thought, that's the time you're supposed to say, oops, there goes my brain. He programmed his brain never to face evil, never to look at the problems that his brain is trying to say, there's a problem there. You know, your brain only goes down that negative path because it wants you to pay attention to something. But here he is heavily programming himself to ignore the problem, just focus on everything that's good. Live the simple life, yet he can't give up all of his money. I mean, that's sort of like a contradiction. It's like, show us how it's done. If you really know how to live a simple life, give away all of your money. No, he can't do that. He can't listen to his own advice, which will, the contradictions within himself will cause the illness, which will cause him the cancer that he's experiencing. He's even accepted his death. You know, that death is a normal way of life. That's another programming that we've been programmed to believe. Again, the Bible suggests they were living 900 years. Some people live longer than others. Why do we die so young? Why is our lifespan so short? And if you look at it, it's our sins. Every single thing that's killing us is our lifestyle, our belief system, our programming. You know, the rules we live our lives by is actually what's killing us. But we're killing each other. Now, how do I know there's a God? How do I know that God is a hell of a lot more powerful than evil? And I mean, we're seeing global destruction. We're seeing a hell. I mean, does it not feel like it's completely out of your control? You know, so how in the world can God save us? Well, that's where you have to kind of understand some of my experiences. When I was a child, and every morning I was woken up to getting a beating, the only friend I had was God. You know, this voice in my head that I would say, okay, God, why is this happening? And then I would get these answers. Something would pop into my head and I would get an answer. And it's like, I'm 3 years old. I'm not smart enough to get answers like that. I'm not smart enough to know, well, pay attention to the stories your parents told you. You know, they told me, hey, you should have seen how bad we had it. You know, that our parents taught us this. Our churches are saying that we need to beat you because you're lazy. You know, the doctors are saying we need to beat you because you're just lazy. So, you know, God told me, pay attention to what it is they're telling you, and you will find out the reasons why they are doing what they're doing. How is a 3-year-old smart enough to pay attention to this voice in the head that says, well, just listen to them. They'll tell you why they're doing what they're doing. And then as soon as I seen that, it was like, oh, somebody's telling you what to do and you just don't know any better. You just don't know that they're wrong. You know, you're following somebody else's advice. I mean, they would tell me, hey, I'm a parent. There was no handbook in how to be a parent. I'm just learning as I'm going along. So it's like, how can you not forgive somebody for they know not what they are doing? But I know what I'm doing. I'm 3 years old. I know, hey, this is wrong. Don't beat me. And but they, you know, parents know it all. Educated people know it all. People with a lot of money know it all. So they're not going to listen to the little people. You know, but the little people are the ones that are saying, hey, I'm not lazy. Hey, you know, stop beating me. This is wrong. I didn't have a voice. And from that point on, that's when I was 3 years of age, that's when all of my abuse experiences started. And it is, you know, I had this voice that nobody wants to listen to. And it's now that I'm going to write a book, and it's like, okay, you're going to listen to me now. You know, I got this YouTube channel. Some people are listening. I'm very, very offensive. So I've got a lot of people hating me, which is exactly the same experience when I was 3 years old trying to tell parents, hey, don't beat me. You know, so it may be a little bit of time that you might want to listen up, because there is this little voice in my head, you know, says he's God, and doesn't show up all that often. And I know that God is within every single one of us. You have to be the one that asks. You have to know how to even ask, because Satan is also inside you too. Evil also is very much in every one of us. It's like we have the DNA of God and we have the DNA of Satan. And it's our free will to choose which one. I mean, there's stories. You got this devil on your shoulder and you got this big angel on the other shoulder. You know, one of my sons, it was really funny, when he was in school, he would have these imaginary friends, but he's in high school and he's pretending that he's talking, you know, having a conversation with other people, and say, well, what do you think? You know, I don't know, what do you think? And he would do it out loud. He's very, very funny. So he basically was having his personal conversations out loud in front of other people, and not scared at all. He was just a genius, and people loved him for it because they could see his thought processes perfectly, even though they may not have known what they were seeing because it was so funny. But we all have that. You all have this voice of good and bad, and it's a matter of knowing how to listen to it. But I'll give you some of these experiences that I've had with God, because at the time, it's like I sure as hell didn't know that, oh, this is God and you should listen to me because I'm talking to God. Like, it's been years and years of experiences and study and being aware, and what does this mean, and can I repeat it? You know, we talk in the language of science, that if this is true, then it should be repeatable. You should have a complete understanding. You should write a rule book that says, well, if you only do this, then it should happen this time, all the time, all the time, all the time. So I'm very, very scientific. I like things to be proven before I believe anything. So it's been an experience that I've been trying to test and get to know, and try to gain more and more and more understandings of it. And I'm not really seeing too many people have the same understandings that I have. I will share then some of my experiences with God, because it's almost like both Satan and God played massive, massive roles in my life, almost to, you know, the experience has been know that we're there and know how to play the game with us. So I'll share the experiences and you be the judge. I mean, what was this voice in my head that was guiding me when I was 3 years old? And what developed this relationship that I had with him? When I was probably in grade 1, in one day, my eyesight completely went. Basically legally blind without glasses. Here I am, little kid, going to school, and my desk is at the back of the classroom, and I'm saying I can't see a thing. Naturally, I don't have a voice. Nobody can listen to me. So they thought I was just lazy and didn't want to pay attention and was making excuses, because nobody can just not see one day. So every day they kept moving me up to the next desk, closer and closer to the blackboard. And I kept saying every day, I can't see, I can't see. And I'm getting hell all the time, and I'm pretty sure that this went on for more than a month before anybody actually believed that I couldn't see anything. And then they realized that I needed glasses. But it's like my eyesight went. And that is sort of like evil. Evil showed up. There was a problem. It's sort of like a disability. We all have disabilities, but there's a purpose to the disability. There is a reason in my life where I needed to lose my eyesight at that particular time. I'll continue on the next tape.